Hey, let's talk about relationships. Let's talk about communication in relationships. If you're not communicating like this, you're going to have a whole world of trouble, but we can fix it real fast. Buckle your seatbelts. I'm Zalman Nelson, online therapist. I help people uplift their relationships, which uplifts all the relationships around them. Uplift your relationship with yourself. Everything around you gets better. So, communication, how does it work? What's the goal? The goal of communication is to hear and understand. Not to fix, not to change, not to make it go away. This is the common problem, is when a person is sharing, you have one job and one job alone, and this actually makes it easier if you think about it. Listen, because like I'm sitting here, you come to me, you want to talk about a problem or an issue. All right, no problem. I'm just going to listen, and I'm actually giving you the greatest thing I possibly can. I'm giving you myself. I'm giving you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes of my life just to listen and hear. I don't have to fix anything. I don't have to repair anything. I don't have to make anything go away. Kind of relieving if you think about it. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to make anything go away. I don't have to come up with some brilliant advice or anything. Number one. Number two, you don't want to give advice unless it's asked for, because when someone is speaking to you and they're sharing, they need to feel heard and understood. If my first response after you share something with me painful that you're going through or you're struggling with, my first response is, try this, do this, you should do that, why don't you do this? Basically, I'm saying, here's what you should do to fix it and make it go away, which means I'm implying don't feel. I'm not accepting what you feel. Some people, even in their relationship, will get to a place where they say, okay, you want to talk? Yes. Is this a listening conversation or an advice conversation? So that you know. But the advice has to come second, because your first job is to hear and understand. Now, you're going to say, I don't know, it's hard, it's difficult. Here's the 2 resistance points. And I'll fix it with, make sure that this is the rule when you communicate. Right? Just say to your partner, when we talk, our goal is to hear and to understand. No problem. Hearing and understanding, 2 rules. Doesn't mean I agree. I may still disagree. Number 1. Number 2, hearing and understanding you doesn't mean I give up my right to then share with you what I feel. Okay? So you have to put in those ground rules, and then it's understood. So now we know what the goal of communication is, what we're after, what not to do. It needs to be practiced. Think about it. When have you ever felt heard or understood? Do you even know what that feels like? A lot of us don't know. A lot of us grew up in a home that having feelings wasn't okay, or was bad, or something bad would happen if we feel. Any one of a number of things. And we're very uncomfortable. We don't even know what it feels like, although we need it. Everyone needs it. We need to feel heard and understood. A lot of the work that I do with people is helping them first feel heard and understood with themselves. If you search feelings chart and download a chart and just sit with yourself for a moment, wait a minute, an hour ago I was really upset, what was I feeling? I'm literally hearing and understanding myself. I'm naming the feelings and I'm hearing and understanding myself. But think about that. When have you ever felt heard? When have you ever felt understood? What does it look like? What was the person doing that helped you feel heard and understood? Was it eye contact? Was it body language? Did they say, the name, the feelings they were hearing coming from you? So that's what we're after. We don't know what it feels like. And so that's what we need to practice. So here's an easy exercise to add to everything that we've set up until now. It's called the 1-minute drill. And you and your partner, let's say, are struggling with something, you can't resolve it. When people are still triggered emotionally, when people don't feel heard and understood, it's very, very hard to figure out something. You can do this even with friends. You'd be like, okay, listen, you go first. I want to hear and understand you. I'll give you a minute. You say your piece, okay? They say their part. And it's easier for you to hear it and understand it because you know that you're going to get your turn afterwards, because that's the deal, right? You speak for a minute, then I'll speak for a minute. But here's what happens next. They spoke for a minute. Your job now is to reflect to them, okay, so here's what I heard. Boom, 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 boom. And then you ask the person, did I get it? They make corrections, and you go back and forth. Reflect, correct, reflect, correct, until they're satisfied. Now, they feel heard and understood. Wow, that's what that feels like. Switch roles. Now you share for a minute, and you get the same treatment back. What you're going to find is like, wow, now I actually know what it feels like to feel heard and understood. Because we didn't jump into arguing, we didn't jump into resolution, right? We just focused on hearing and understanding each other. You'll also find something pretty magical, which is that when 2 people feel heard and understood by each other, it gets incredibly easier, if not super simple, to then resolve the issue and move on. If you like this tip, Let me know in the comments. Hit the subscribe button, notifications. Please share with people who need to hear this. And we'll talk more soon.